Canada is not invited to the party, and Northern Ontarians are about to be sprayed. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie B. This is where we debrief and discuss internet culture, pop culture, and politics from an independent perspective. So if that interests you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that post notification bell. It really helps me get my video out because I live in Canada where they control everything. So let's get into today's episode. So, as we know, I have been sick all summer. I actually just got sick this past Saturday. Like flu sick. And it's funny to me because what I'm looking at here is the fact that they're going to be spraying Northern Ontario today. So it's not exactly by me. It's under Temagami to North Bay to like Sunridge area, Nipissing area. And I'm about to go on a bit of a rant here, okay? Because I seriously do not know where this government gets off. And where the left gets off not holding their government accountable, okay? Because I'm just saying, we should be asking questions about this. Why are we not following Indigenous practices that we know actually prevent forest fires, controlled burns? Why are we spraying a herbicide that actually can be flammable? I'm just saying, last year, there were forest fires in Cobalt in early May, despite us having a pretty wet season last year. And the day before, I found, someone in the Freedom group posted a picture where she put out buckets of the rain, and some of the rain was red. Why would the rain be red? And then the next day, we had multiple fires from lightning. Sure, Jan. Sure. Okay. I know lightning can start fires, forest fires. Absolutely. But when it was literally soaked until the day before when they sprayed this and rainwater was red. Okay. There wasn't even talk of it being a threat of fire. Okay. I understand that Alberta does get a lot drier pretty quick, but Northern Ontario, we are wet for a long time, okay? This year was the first year that I seen that I didn't actually sink because my neighbors and I share like a long yard and I go over to her house for coffee in the backyard. And this year was the first year that we didn't sink when we were walking over there because it's always soaking wet. What are the health implications of this? Who is approving of this? Genuinely. And it says Ontario, so it's obviously the provincial government. But why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? You guys, they put it on X. It's not even a secret or anything. They said, hey, we're spraying this area for this amount of time. And it says that it is being used to control competing vegetation. What? Why don't you have controlled burns? What are you talking about? How does this, what vegetation is in competition of each other? Shouldn't shit just grow? We are in Northern Ontario. We're literally, you guys, seriously, when I was living in Southern Ontario, you cannot imagine the amount of crown land up here. Control what vegetation? What vegetation are we controlling with this herbicide? Control competing vegetation. What vegetation is competing against each other? Are they in some sort of game? What? There needs to be way more of an explanation than that to justify spraying our forests when you know that we have so many problems with forest fires. And this started in 2019. Are you kidding me? What has, almost quadrupled since 2019? And this is what I mean when I say that the federal government, the provincial government, and the municipal governments are working in freaking tandem, you guys. And here's the thing, okay? We need to be running for councils. To me, it's way more intimidating to run for a federal government. I am literally thinking about running for our council because we genuinely need people who are not going to charge us an arm and a leg for property taxes. Okay, because here's what my property taxes were yesterday. And we still haven't paid them all off. We can only pay off a certain amount, that we still have $1,800 left over on our property taxes. Let me tell you, in Northern Ontario, unless you're in a town, which I am not, you have to take your garbage to the dump yourself. Okay. Oh, okay. Number 2, we live right next to a freaking sawmill. When I go outside, I am poisoned. And in my opinion, I should be paying less property taxes because every time I go outside, I am smacked in the face with fucking pollution. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, it took them almost all summer until August something to come and do the one thing that they do for our road, which was cut the vegetation out of the moats, the ditches that they put in. I call it my moat, because we live at the bottom of a cliff. So we all have ditches because all of the houses were flooding before we got in. And so the town comes in and does that. And we had to call them and ask them to do it for us. Okay. And there's so much more that you don't get when you're in Northern Ontario, but it's not crossing my mind right now because this makes me so incredibly angry. Because like I said, once we get any money saved up, it's always going to property taxes. And I'm just so unbelievably sick of it. And that is why I fear that we need to run for councillors. And I heard on Rebel News the other day, I was listening, watching one of their segments, and they said that the Ontario municipality elections are coming up this fall. I need to look into this because I'm seriously done with this. We need to stop this government from the ground up, apparently. Okay, we tried at the federal level to get rid of the criminals. They're not going anywhere. They're pretty good at owning the media and convincing everybody that they're going to save us, even though despite they made this entire mess. So speaking of our federal government failing, where the heck was Mark Carney? Why was he discluded from this meeting? Why did everybody say this plant here was Mark Carney? Okay, you guys saw the meme where it was all the world G7 or whatever it was lined up and there was a plant and everyone said that was Mark Carney. Canada is, when I tell you guys, Canada is not a real friggin' country. Like, there's no way it is. There's no way it is. Until we have a serious leader, I seriously do not think that Canada was taken seriously as a country since Stephen Harper. I don't agree with everything Stephen Harper did, genuinely. And Maxime Bernier was part of Stephen Harper's conservatives when he went to the World Economic Forum. I can't even say that with a straight face because of the amount of people that in the PPC that call PierrePoilievre a globalist, and yet Maxime Bernier is here. And where was Maxime Bernier, by the way, in that by-election? Not running, that's for sure. Mark Carney not being invited to this, like, I could not tell you what it even means because in my opinion, I do think that these elitist pricks respect Mark Carney. I think that this is show. I think that the Mark Carney, Donald Trump charade thing going on is some sort of show, if you will, because I have no idea. I truly think that this is going to lead to some sort of North American partnership. I don't know what else. I don't know how we could be. We're already part of Britain or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know how we could be more of that, but I do know how we could be more of America. You know what I mean? And I mean, all of these people have been working towards the same thing, which has been globalism, which has been the dissolving of borders, which is exactly why when Donald Trump got in, I was like, excuse me? That sounds like a plan I've heard before, and you did not say that while you were campaigning. So what the HE double hockey sticks is that? Okay? It's just honestly, between the Air Canada thing and the leaked conversations, I truly think that Mark Carney is losing his steam quick, like I said in that video yesterday. And so, guys, I just wish that we could have, they're finally seeing that Mark Carney is a billionaire and he's working with all these CEOs, especially when the tape leaked or whatever. And finally seeing that he's a conservative. Well, why did you vote in the guy who also worked for Stephen Harper? You guys need to think. I'm not kidding you. I really hope that this makes the left at least think about the brainwashing that is happening to them. because they admit that they're strategic voting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and how did that go for you? Not actually voting for someone that you thought represented you. How did that go for you? Because we all were. The conservatives were. We were all voting for the people that we thought would best represent us. We weren't voting to make sure that your guy got out. We were voting because we genuinely think that the conservatives represent us best. And the conservatives, and this is what I mean about messaging, you guys. Tell me why the conservatives a year ago put in a bill to make sure that those airline attendants got paid. Why didn't they take that advantage of that during the thing? There should be messaging upon messaging upon messaging. Like, hire me for PR. Hire me for PR. I will help you guys because you need your message out there. You need... There's... First of all, I think Air Canada bought bots, okay, because there's so many comments sticking up for the for Air Canada. No. And then the left's like, I can't believe the conservatives are sticking up for the CEO. No, we're not. No, we're not. We actually think that, unlike you guys, that we deserve to be paid for our time working. I know that that's a huge thing on the left that they don't believe in because they believe in giving their half of their paycheck to the federal and provincial and municipal governments. But we don't believe in that. We believe in actually getting paid for the hours that you work. So yes. And why wouldn't that be a win for conservatives? Your federal government is proving to you time and time again that they are stripping you of your rights, and you should have been sounding the alarm during the Freedom Convoy, but I digress. But now they're finally seeing. And anyways, yeah, I think that this will, I'm praying that this is the shortest time between elections that we see. I can't. How long can our country be literally driven into HE double hockey sticks before we start to realize, like, my biggest thing with the left right now is, how do you guys not realize that the DEI measures are why we have such a problem with our bail system and school system and all of these different things? The idea of simply forgiving people and letting them have a second chance because of mental health is rooted in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it is actually making way more victims than it is preventing. So I'm waiting for them to realize that. I'm waiting for them to realize that the judges are hired by the feds. And until then, I am going to a My Chemical Romance concert this Friday, and I would just like to say, screw all of the haters. I don't think you guys understand. When I got pregnant, I was left, okay? There was a million... Everybody told me to get an abortion, okay? And I'm just going to be real with you guys. Everybody told me that, despite a few people who were very supportive of me, my family members, okay? And a couple of my friends. But for the most part, the whole town hated me. I was 19, turning 20, having a baby, okay? And the whole town hated me, whatever. Not the point. The point is that I did not have an abortion, and now I have a daughter who is just like me. And, you know, even if she wasn't just like me, it would be the best thing ever because I love girlhood. I love having her. I love having a daughter. And not that I don't love having my sons, but you know what I mean. I seriously went through hell and back to have her. And Friday, it's just like, a moment like that, like being able to share a concert like this with my daughter, is everything that I've ever dreamed of. And I seriously cannot listen to the CD that they're performing, the Black Parade, which also has helped me get through all of these times with how horrible our government has been. And especially with my grandma dying, it's helped me get through the grief. And I'm just, this is what life is for. It's for the little moments, but it's also for things like this, where you know that this moment, this night is going to be something that your child remembers forever. You're going to have such a good time. I'm going to have such a good time. It makes me so emotional to think about how much I love my daughter and how grateful I am that I did not give in to the noise. So I will end my video there, and I will see you guys on Monday. And wish me luck, because we're going to Toronto and Southern Ontario, and that's a nightmare, but the concert's going to be really fun. So yeah, you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Oh, and in the comments, please tell me what concert you've been to was your favorite. Okay, I need to know. I need to know the music taste of my audience. Okay, it's very important. Or if you don't listen to music, I don't watch TV that much, and everybody thinks everything's evil, but I can't give up my music, guys. I'm not listening to Travis Scott. Okay, so anyways, you guys have a good one, and let me know your favorite concerts that you've been to in the comments. Have a good one, guys. Bye.